The stars above Earth shimmered with the promise of uncharted worlds and civilizations, a boundless frontier that humanity was only beginning to explore. That promise turned to reality when the first alien fleet appeared in the sky, not with the thunder of weapons, but with the silence of a question hanging in the void. The Centauri, a race whose existence was until then the subject of speculation and dreams, had come to Earth. The world watched in a mix of awe and apprehension as the Centauri ships, vast constructs of gleaming metal and pulsing lights, took position in geostationary orbit above major cities. Their technology was clearly advanced beyond human comprehension, capable of traversing the vast distances between stars with ease. The moment was historic, the first confirmed contact with extraterrestrial life, and it was broadcast live across every possible medium. Humanity's response was cautious but optimistic. A specially appointed envoy of scientists, diplomats, and linguists was sent to meet with the Centauri delegation aboard their flagship. The hope was to establish a foundation for peaceful interaction and mutual understanding. The humans brought gifts of art, literature, and technology, symbols of goodwill and a desire to connect with their cosmic neighbors. The pivotal moment came when the human delegation presented a device designed to facilitate communication between the two species. It was an advanced AI translator, capable of learning and adapting to the Centauri language in real time. The device was activated and began its process, lights blinking in a sequence that mirrored the human pulse, a detail intended to symbolize life and commonality. However, the Centauri's reaction was not as expected. The delegation stiffened, their expressions turning to ones of offense and anger. The humans, confused, could only watch as the Centauri abruptly terminated the meeting and returned the delegation to Earth. In the hours that followed, the reason for the breakdown became painfully clear. The pulsing light of the AI translator, intended as a symbol of life and unity, closely resembled the Centauri sign for aggression and challenge. What was meant as a gesture of friendship was interpreted as a grave insult. As the Centauri fleet began maneuvers that hinted at a military response, Earth's leaders scrambled to defuse the situation. The entire planet held its breath, waiting to see if humanity's first step into the galactic community would lead to enlightenment or annihilation. This misunderstanding set the stage for a conflict that would test the very limits of human ingenuity, courage, and the desire for peace amidst the stars. The challenge was monumental, but so was the resolve to overcome it, marking the beginning of an epic saga that would forever alter humanity's place in the cosmos. Dr. Lena Marquez stood before the Centauri delegation, the weight of the world on her shoulders. She carefully explained the purpose of the AI translator and the unfortunate resemblance of its signals to the Centauri's war challenge. Her words, chosen with precision, aimed to bridge the chasm of misunderstanding between the two civilizations. The Centauri leader, whose name translated to Thane Vrax in the human tongue, listened intently, his expression unreadable. The silence that followed Lena's explanation was tense, filled with the collective breath of humanity waiting in suspense. Meanwhile, across the globe, preparations for a potential conflict were underway. Earth's militaries pooled their resources, forming a unified defense command. Scientists and engineers worked feverishly to reverse engineer any alien technology they had on hand, or to devise new weapons that could, hopefully, give them a fighting chance against the Centauri. In space, the Centauri fleet maintained its blockade, a silent testament to their readiness for conflict. On Earth, people looked up at the night sky with a mix of fear and defiance. The world had never been more united, with old rivalries set aside in the face of a common existential threat. Back at the United Nations, Thane Vrax finally responded to Dr. Marquez. "Your words have been heard and your intent will be considered," he announced. "However, actions speak louder than words. Your planet remains under our watch, and any aggression will be met with immediate annihilation." With that, the Centauri delegation returned to their ship and ascended to the fleet, leaving humanity in a state of suspended dread. The encounter marked a crucial moment for Earth. Leaders and citizens alike realized the fragility of their existence in the vast universe. The military readied its defenses, and diplomatic channels remained open, broadcasting messages of peace and clarification of the misunderstanding in hopes of reaching the Centauri. As days passed, the Zentauri's silence grew more ominous. Earth's defenses were on high alert, with anti-spacecraft batteries scanning the skies and the newly formed Earth Defense Fleet conducting drills in anticipation of an attack that seemed increasingly inevitable. In this charged atmosphere, Dr. Marquez became a symbol of hope and diplomacy. Her efforts to communicate with the Centauri were lauded, but the looming threat of war cast a long shadow over her achievements. She worked tirelessly, coordinating with linguists, diplomats, and military strategists to prepare for every possible outcome of the standoff. The gathering storm was not just of military might, but of a clash of civilizations, ideologies, and the very survival of humanity. The world waited, caught between hope for a peaceful resolution and the grim preparations for a war that could end their way of life. The Centauri's reaction to the perceived slight was swift and decisive. Within hours of the failed meeting, their ships repositioned themselves into a formation that was unmistakably aggressive. The skies above Earth, which had recently sparkled with the promise of a new dawn of understanding and cooperation, now brooded with the threat of impending conflict. The misunderstanding lay in the pulsating lights of the human-made AI translator. What was intended as a universal gesture of life and connectivity mirrored the Centauri's ancient sign of war, a declaration issued before battle, challenging the opponent's right to exist. The Centauri, a civilization that had thrived through martial prowess and strict adherence to tradition, could not overlook such an affront, even if unintended. Across Earth, the initial excitement and wonder quickly turned to fear and mobilization. The United Nations convened in an emergency session, with leaders from across the globe participating in person or through secure links. The message from the Centauri was clear. Humanity had, in their first act of interstellar diplomacy, inadvertently declared war on a species far more advanced than their own. The world's military forces were put on high alert, but there was a prevailing sense of helplessness. Earth's most advanced weapons seemed primitive in comparison to the technology that hovered silently above. Meanwhile, efforts to communicate with the Centauri and explain the misunderstanding were met with silence. The alien fleet had initiated a blockade, isolating Earth from the rest of the galaxy. Amidst this growing tension, a single Centauri ship descended towards the United Nations headquarters in New York, a city that had become a focal point for the world's anxieties and hopes. The ship landed with an elegance that belied its ominous purpose, and from it emerged a delegation of Centauri warriors. Their leader, a towering figure clad in armor that seemed to absorb the light around it, spoke in a voice that resonated with power and authority. "We have interpreted your actions as a declaration of war," the Centauri leader announced, their words translated by a device that rendered their speech with a cold, mechanical timbre. "However, we seek to understand before we act. Explain your intent and do so truthfully, for deception will result in immediate retribution." The moment was fraught with peril. The assembled human leaders, representing a myriad of cultures and nations, now faced the monumental task of convincing a warrior race of their peaceful intentions, a task complicated by the fact that even the simplest gesture could be misinterpreted with catastrophic consequences. As the world watched, a single figure stepped forward, an envoy chosen for her expertise in linguistics and her deep understanding of diplomacy. Dr. Lina Marquez, her heart racing with the gravity of the moment, began the delicate process of unraveling the misunderstanding that had brought humanity to the brink of its first interstellar war. The tension between Earth and the Centauri fleet escalated when a rogue nation, acting out of fear and defiance, launched a nuclear missile at the alien ships. The world watched in horror as the missile streaked through the sky, a desperate act that could have doomed humanity. The Centauri response was swift and non-lethal, a demonstration of their technological superiority. They effortlessly disabled the missile mid-flight, and it harmlessly disintegrated before it could reach its target. This act of aggression and the subsequent display of the Centauri's capabilities served as a wake-up call to Earth's leaders. It underscored the futility of conventional warfare against the alien visitors and galvanized efforts to seek a peaceful resolution. Meanwhile, small skirmishes broke out around the globe as Centauri scout ships began to make their presence felt, engaging with Earth's hastily assembled defense forces in brief but intense encounters. These skirmishes, though limited in scope, had a profound impact. They offered a glimpse into the Centauri's tactical approach and their advanced weaponry, which seemed to focus on incapacitation rather than destruction. Humanity's forces, under the Unified Earth Defense Command, analyzed every encounter, learning and adapting to the alien tactics and technology. Captain Lucas Wren, a pilot in the Earth Defense Fleet, became a symbol of human resilience during these skirmishes. His daring maneuvers during an encounter with a Centauri scout ship saved his squadron and brought down the alien vessel without loss of life on either side. The engagement, broadcast globally, became a rallying point for humanity, a sign that despite the odds, there was hope. The skirmishes also revealed the Centauri's reluctance to cause mass destruction. Their strategy seemed aimed at containment and demonstration of power rather than outright annihilation. This realization sparked debates among Earth's leaders and strategists. Some saw it as a sign that the Centauri were open to negotiation, while others viewed it as a tactic to demoralize and divide humanity before a final assault. Dr. Marquez, building on the insights gained from the skirmishes and her previous interaction with Thane Vrax, intensified her diplomatic efforts. She advocated for a show of unity and peaceful intent from all of Earth's nations. Her team worked tirelessly to decipher more of the Centauri language, hoping to find a means to communicate Earth's desire for peace and coexistence more effectively. As the skirmishes continued, with each side testing the other's capabilities and resolve, a pattern emerged. The encounters grew less frequent and less intense, as if both sides were hesitant to escalate the conflict further. This lull in hostilities offered a glimmer of hope, a brief respite in which Earth could continue its efforts to reach out to the Centauri and find a peaceful resolution to the standoff that had brought two civilizations to the brink of war. The relative calm following the initial skirmishes offered humanity a much-needed opportunity to regroup and reassess. Driven by the dual engines of necessity and invention, Earth's brightest minds embarked on a period of unprecedented innovation. The skirmishes had provided invaluable data on Centauri technology, sparking a renaissance in human engineering and military tactics. Under the leadership of Captain Lucas Wren, Earth's defense fleet began to employ guerrilla tactics against the Centauri. Small, agile fighter squads would engage in hit-and-run attacks on Centauri scout ships, avoiding direct confrontations while testing and probing their defenses for weaknesses. These tactics, born out of desperation, started to yield results, giving humanity its first real sense of hope against the alien threat. Meanwhile, Dr. Lena Marquez's diplomatic team made a breakthrough in communication with the Centauri. Utilizing the data gathered from their encounters and the insights gained from the disastrous first contact, they developed a new communication protocol that eliminated the risk of misinterpretation. The protocol was a combination of visual symbols and mathematical equations, a universal language that transcended cultural barriers. With a new way to communicate, Dr. Marquez requested another meeting with Thane Vrax, hoping to convey humanity's desire for peace and mutual understanding. The request was a gamble, but to everyone's surprise, the Centauri agreed. A meeting was arranged on neutral ground on the Moon, where both parties could meet face-to-face without the immediate threat of conflict. The night before the meeting, Earth was a planet on edge. People across the globe held vigils, their eyes turned skyward, their thoughts oscillating between hope and despair. The upcoming diplomatic encounter was seen as humanity's last chance to avert a war that could lead to its destruction. The meeting on the Moon marked a turning point in human-alien relations. Dr. Marquez and Thane Vrax, representing their respective species, engaged in a dialogue that was tense but genuine. Through the new communication protocol, humanity was able to express its peaceful intentions and its willingness to resolve the misunderstanding that had brought them to the brink of war. Thane Vrax, moved by the sincerity and the vulnerability of the humans, shared his own perspective. The Centauri were not conquerors but protectors, policing the galaxy against civilizations that threatened the cosmic order. The mistaken aggression on humanity's part had triggered a defensive response, but the Centauri were open to reassessment based on new evidence. The discussions were long and fraught with difficulty, but by the end, an agreement was reached. The Centauri would withdraw their fleet and lift the blockade, giving humanity a chance to prove its peaceful intentions. In return, Earth would work alongside the Centauri to establish a framework for future interactions, ensuring that such misunderstandings would not occur again. As the Centauri fleet began to depart from Earth's orbit, a collective sigh of relief echoed across the planet. The turning tide was not just a reprieve from the threat of annihilation, it was a beacon of hope for a future where humanity could stand as equals among the stars. The news of the successful negotiations spread like wildfire, igniting celebrations and a renewed sense of unity among Earth's diverse populations. For the first time since the Centauri's arrival, humanity looked to the future with optimism, ready to embark on a new chapter in its cosmic journey. As the Centauri fleet withdrew, the atmosphere on Earth was one of cautious optimism. The successful negotiation had averted an immediate crisis, but it had also opened humanity's eyes to the vast and complex galactic community beyond their solar system. This awareness brought with it a renewed focus on space exploration and defense, but also an understanding of the need for diplomacy and peaceful coexistence. However, the peace was short-lived. A faction within the Centauri, dissatisfied with Thane Vrax's decision to negotiate with what they considered an inferior species, staged a coup. This militant faction, led by a formidable commander named Skarn, seized control of the fleet with the intention of resuming hostilities against Earth. They believed that the only way to maintain the Centauri's reputation as the galaxy's enforcers was through strength and dominance, not diplomacy. Skarn's first act was to send a small but powerful contingent back to Earth, not to negotiate, but to punish. The Centauri's return caught Earth's defenses off guard, as they had been scaled back in the wake of the peace agreement. The attackers targeted military installations and communication networks, causing widespread panic and chaos. This time, the message from the Centauri was clear: surrender unconditionally or face obliteration. Skarn's wrath was not just aimed at humanity, it was a message to any within the Centauri ranks who might question his authority or the direction he was taking their civilization. Humanity's response to this renewed threat was immediate. The Earth Defense Fleet, under Captain Lucas Wren's leadership, mobilized with every available ship and pilot. The world's nations, reminded of their vulnerability, rallied together once again, providing whatever resources and support they could muster. The counterattacks led by Wren were daring and innovative, designed to exploit the Centauri's aggressive tactics. Meanwhile, on the ground, resistance movements sprang up, targeting the Centauri forces and sabotaging their efforts to establish a foothold on Earth. Amidst this turmoil, Dr. Marquez worked tirelessly to re-establish communication with Thane Vrax, hoping to reach the Centauri leader and appeal for his intervention. Her efforts were hampered by the disruption of communication networks. But she persisted, knowing that Vrax might be humanity's only hope of stopping Skarn's campaign of destruction. The battles that followed were intense and costly. Humanity fought with a desperation born of the knowledge that their survival hung in the balance. Each skirmish, each act of resistance, was a testament to their refusal to be subjugated. As Earth's defenders waged their relentless battle against Skarn's forces, a surprising development occurred. Thane Vrax, having regained control of a portion of the Centauri fleet, arrived in Earth's orbit. Vrax, outraged by Skarn's betrayal and the needless suffering it had caused, was determined to restore honor to the Centauri name and uphold the peace agreement he had negotiated with humanity. The Centauri civil conflict, now playing out above Earth, added a new dimension to the struggle. Vrax's forces engaged with Skarn's, both sides battling for control of the fleet and the future direction of their civilization. On Earth, the news of Vrax's intervention sparked a glimmer of hope. The battle was far from over, but for the first time since Skarn's assault began, there was a sense that the tide might turn in humanity's favor. The fight for Earth was not just a fight for survival, but a fight for the right to exist as equals among the stars. With Thane Vrax's unexpected arrival turning the tide of battle in space, Earth's leaders seized the moment to regroup and reinforce their defenses. Captain Lucas Wren spearheaded a global initiative to coordinate Earth's military efforts, blending traditional combat strategies with the guerrilla tactics that had proven effective against Skarn's forces. Ground-based anti-aircraft systems, rendered almost obsolete in the initial skirmishes, were upgraded with Zentari technology shared by Vrax's faction. These enhancements gave Earth a fighting chance to defend against the superior Zentari ships. Meanwhile, Ren led a series of daring raids that targeted Skarn's supply lines, slowly chipping away at the invaders' ability to sustain their assault. Dr. Lena Marquez, understanding the importance of maintaining a diplomatic channel with Vrax, established a secure line of communication to the Zentari leader. Through this link, Vrax provided critical intelligence on Skarn's strategies and vulnerabilities. This information proved invaluable, allowing Earth's forces to anticipate and counter Skarn's moves with increasing effectiveness. The global response to the Zentari threat was unprecedented. Nations that had once been rivals on Earth's geopolitical stage now shared resources, intelligence, and technology freely. The common cause of survival had united humanity in a way that centuries of diplomacy had never achieved. In space, the conflict between Vrax's loyalists and Skarn's faction reached a critical point. Vrax, leveraging his intimate knowledge of Zentari tactics and technology, managed to isolate Skarn's flagship from its support vessels. The move was risky, requiring precise timing and coordination with Earth's newly bolstered defenses to prevent Skarn from regrouping. On Earth, the mood shifted from despair to cautious optimism. The sight of Zentari ships battling each other in the skies served as a stark reminder of the high stakes involved, but it also underscored the possibility of victory. The combined efforts of Earth's defenders and Vrax's forces were slowly turning the tide against Skarn. The key to sustaining this momentum was unity and adaptability. Earth's military commanders, inspired by Ren's leadership, adopted a fluid approach to warfare, constantly evolving their tactics to counter the Zentari threat. Civilians contributed to the war effort in any way they could, from manufacturing munitions to providing logistical support. As the defenses rallied, a sense of shared purpose pervaded every aspect of human society. The threat of annihilation had fostered an indomitable spirit of resistance and resilience. People everywhere understood that the fight against Skarn was not just for control of their planet, but for the very soul of humanity. As the decisive battle loomed, Earth's forces prepared for what many believed would be the ultimate test of their determination to remain free. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the future of Earth and its place in the cosmic order. The rallying of Earth's defenses had transformed the planet into a fortress, ready to withstand the storm that approached. The moment of truth arrived with the dawn, as Skarn's forces launched a full-scale assault on Earth, a desperate attempt to break the will of humanity and reclaim the momentum lost to Thane Vrax's intervention. Earth's orbit became a chaotic battlefield, streaked with the contrails of fighters and illuminated by the flash of energy weapons. Below, the people of Earth watched the skies, their fates hanging in the balance. Captain Lucas Wren, piloting his fighter, led the charge against the Zentari invaders. The Earth Defense Fleet, now a formidable force enhanced by Zentari technology and united in purpose, fought with a ferocity that matched their alien adversaries blow for blow. The guerrilla tactics that had served them well were now part of a larger, coordinated strategy, exploiting weaknesses in Skarn's forces that Vrax had revealed. On the moon's surface, Dr. Lena Marquez and a contingent of diplomats and scientists maintained the fragile link between Earth and Vrax's loyalists, coordinating the efforts of the two allies. The information they relayed was crucial, allowing Ren and his pilots to anticipate Skarn's maneuvers and counter them effectively. The battle raged for hours, with neither side willing to yield. Skarn's determination to crush humanity's resistance was met with an unbreakable wall of defiance. Earth's defenders, aware that their homes and families were directly below the conflict, fought with a desperation and courage that turned the tide in their favor. Amidst the chaos, a daring plan was hatched to end the conflict once and for all. A small team, led by Captain Wren himself, would infiltrate Skarn's flagship, aiming to disable it from within. The mission was perilous, a needle-thin chance at victory, but it was a chance they had to take. As Wren and his team made their daring approach to Skarn's flagship, the battle seemed to pause, as if both sides recognized the significance of the moment. Fighting their way through the ship, Ren's team reached the core, where they initiated a sequence that would disable the vessel's power systems. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Skarn's flagship went dark, a silent behemoth adrift among the stars. The loss of their command ship sent a wave of confusion through the Zentari ranks, allowing Vrax's forces to press their advantage and rout Skarn's remaining ships. With the flagship disabled and Skarn captured, the battle for Earth came to an abrupt end. Vrax's forces, alongside Earth's defenders, secured the victory, a triumph born of unity and shared sacrifice. The skies above Earth cleared, revealing once more the stars from which the threat had come. In the aftermath of the battle, Earth emerged forever changed. The conflict had brought humanity to the brink of extinction, but it had also galvanized them into a unified species, ready to take its place in the cosmic community. The Zentari, too, were changed, with Vrax's leadership heralding a new era of cooperation with Earth and a re-evaluation of their role in the galaxy. The battle for Earth was over, but the journey for both humanity and the Zentari was just beginning. A new chapter awaited, filled with the promise of exploration, understanding, and the forging of alliances among the stars. The legacy of this conflict would be a testament to the power of unity in the face of adversity, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can illuminate the path to a brighter future. In the aftermath of the decisive battle, Earth lay in a precarious silence, its skies finally clear of conflict. The victory was celebrated, but it was a somber jubilation, tempered by the losses endured and the understanding of how close humanity had come to annihilation. The world had been irrevocably united in the face of the Zentari threat, a unity forged not just in the heat of battle, but in the shared realization of their vulnerability in the vast cosmos. Thane Vrax, now acknowledged as a hero by both humans and his own people, initiated peace talks with Earth's newly formed United Global Council. The negotiations were held on the International Space Station, transformed into a neutral meeting ground for discussions that would shape the future of interstellar relations. Dr. Lena Marquez, alongside a team of Earth's finest diplomats, scientists, and military leaders, represented humanity in these historic talks. The peace treaty that emerged was comprehensive, addressing the misunderstandings that had led to the conflict and laying down a framework for cooperation between Earth and the Zentari. Key to the agreement was the establishment of a joint exploratory and defense initiative designed to protect against future threats to both civilizations and to explore the galaxy together. Captain Lucas Wren, hailed as a hero for his bravery and leadership, was appointed as the commander of the joint initiative. His first act was to establish a training program for pilots and soldiers from both Earth and the Zentari, promoting mutual understanding and camaraderie among the ranks. The treaty also included provisions for the sharing of technology and knowledge, with the Zentari offering access to advanced propulsion, energy, and medical technologies that would have taken humanity centuries to develop independently. In return, Earth shared its rich cultural heritage and innovations in social organization and environmental sustainability, offering the Zentari a perspective on the diversity and resilience of human societies. As the treaty was ratified and the peace solidified, a sense of cautious optimism spread across Earth. The population began to look to the future, not with fear, but with hope and curiosity about their place in the galaxy. The scars of the conflict would take time to heal, but they served as a reminder of the importance of understanding, diplomacy, and the pursuit of peace. The fragile peace that had been achieved was a testament to the possibility of reconciliation and cooperation, even between species from different worlds. It was a first step toward a greater integration into the galactic community, an acknowledgement that humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. The establishment of the joint initiative marked the beginning of a new era for Earth. The planet, once isolated and unaware of the broader cosmic landscape, was now a budding power in a galaxy teeming with life and possibilities. The legacy of the conflict and the peace that followed would be remembered as a pivotal moment in human history, a time when the species took its first tentative steps into a wider universe filled with unknown challenges and boundless opportunities. The treaty between Earth and the Zentari marked the dawn of a new age for humanity. The skies, once a battleground, became a canvas for cooperation and shared dreams. Under the guidance of Captain Lucas Wren and the oversight of Thane Vrax, the Joint Exploratory and Defense Initiative flourished, becoming a beacon of unity in the galaxy. The initiative's first mission was symbolic, a joint expedition to a newly discovered planet that showed signs of harboring life. This mission, led by human and Zentari scientists, was broadcast across Earth and the Zentari homeworld, a testament to the possibilities that lay ahead. The discovery of a thriving ecosystem on the planet, untouched by intelligent life, was a cause for celebration, a reminder of the beauty and diversity of the universe. Back on Earth, the sharing of Zentari technology had catalyzed a renaissance in science and engineering. Clean energy, advanced medical treatments, and faster-than-light travel became realities, transforming the fabric of human society. The planet, once on the brink of ecological collapse, began to heal, its people united in their responsibility towards their home and each other. Culturally, the integration of Earth into the galactic community inspired a new wave of art, literature, and philosophy. Humanity's understanding of its place in the universe expanded, leading to a deeper appreciation for the value of peace and the pursuit of knowledge. The Zentari, too, were changed by the encounter, their society enriched by human concepts of individuality, creativity, and democratic governance. The legacy of the conflict and the subsequent peace was memorialized in a monument on the Moon at the site of the treaty signing. The monument, a joint creation by human and Zentari artists, depicted two hands reaching towards each other, one human, one Zentari, clasping a star. It symbolized not just the peace between two species, but the potential for harmony in the galaxy. As years passed, the joint initiative expanded, welcoming other species and civilizations into its fold. The initiative became a galactic council, dedicated to the preservation of peace, the promotion of exploration, and the protection of weaker civilizations. Earth and the Zentari, once on opposite sides of a conflict, now stood as pillars of this council, their alliance a testament to the transformative power of understanding and cooperation. The story of humanity's brush with annihilation and its rise to galactic prominence was taught to future generations, a reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of reaching out across the void with open hands and hearts. The tale of Dr. Lena Marquez, Captain Lucas Wren, and Thane Vrax became legend, their actions a guiding light for those who would navigate the uncertain waters of interstellar relations. As humanity looked to the stars, they did so not as conquerors or isolationists, but as explorers and diplomats, eager to learn and share. The universe, with all its mysteries and wonders, awaited them, a new frontier in the eternal quest for knowledge and connection. The dawn of this new age was not without challenges, but the people of Earth faced the future with optimism, fortified by the knowledge that they were not alone in the vast cosmos. The legacy of their past struggles was a foundation upon which they built a future filled with hope, understanding, and the endless pursuit of harmony among the stars.